Hello there, everybody, and yes, I am going to be introducing the full council today for the glorious episode of Jedi Talk that we have, a top 10 list episode of Jedi Talk. Today we're going to be discussing our top 10 deleted scenes in all of Star Wars, something that...
Listen, shut up for a second.
Well, Homer wasn't looking forward to it, but something that Brad and myself were looking forward to, and Tom and Homer were not looking forward to it.
We talked him into doing it, and you're like, shut up.
So the man speaking now to my left is a one Mr. Bradley Hughes. How are you, Brad?
What's up, man? I'm good. I'm trying to win that burger ambassador thing over on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get that, man. You
I hope
should
so.
get it.
There's been...
You're gaining ground.
I don't want to disparage any other people that are doing. So if you don't know, there is a thing in Orlando called Orlando Burger Week, and they're looking for an ambassador for Orlando Burger Week, and it's a natural fit for me. I do social media stuff. I do videos. I talk about burgers all the time. I fucking make them as much as I can. I eat them. I'm going at 6 o'clock. I got to get out here within an hour and 20 minutes because I'm going to a burger pop up tonight.
Oh, it's okay. I got a Chipotle order. I got to grab anyway.
So it's natural for me. But one of the girls in her bio, this is what she posted, was like, I'm passionate about a lot of things. And if they pick that dud, I'm gonna be really upset.
Well,
how much skin
I'm not
does
gonna
she
say
show?
anything. Yeah, I was gonna say, cue one of the alarms there. Cue the alarms.
Enough, but it's not. Let's just say it's not grade A beef.
I'm just going to keep the alarm going.
Yeah, keep the alarm going. So
prime.
anyhow, the man that's playing the alarm, who has a Chipotle order for an extra large grande burrito and a burrito bowl at 6:30 tonight, Mr. Tom Oakrey.
I got to know what your go-to Chipotle order is, because I love Chipotle.
Well, I'll let you know by the right of the council, and by the will of the Force, it's actually a chicken bowl with a bunch of stuff in it.
Yeah, chicken's the best one.
Pro tip, if you order half chicken, half steak, you get double the meat.
That's
Boom.
true.
Doesn't cost anything extra.
That's
Look at
what
that.
she said.
Oh, whoa.
That's like such an obvious hack, but it works. Works every time.
I'll take it.
Especially if you do it and then say, actually, can I get half chicken, half steak? And then they'd have to give you two things.
I'm so confused. Are you the burger connoisseur or the Chipotle?
I'm
now?
the fat
which one
fucking
is
food guy, bro.
Oh.
That's all it is. That's
Okay.
all it is. I'm a foodie. I'm a food guy. But, yeah, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
This episode, top 10 deleted scenes. This one was one of my favorite lists to put together. And you've
been wanting to do this for 2 years.
I know.
It's been a long time.
Finally got a chance to do it. And then Tom drops the bombshell on it that fucking hates
Tom,
it.
what should we do instead? Do you have a better top 10 list? Let's do a different one.
Actually, you know what?
I will fucking slap all of you.
With tortillas.
No. We're going to do this. There are some scenes on here that I thoroughly enjoyed watching.
Yeah, there's a couple
now,
I like, yeah.
Be forewarned, because of the attentiveness that I have for this, and I got a little annoyed here and there. There might be a few of the prequel deleted scenes on my list. It might be a little heavy there.
Yeah,
it might be a little heavy there. So, but speaking of top 10s, I actually shared this list with Brad. I can't remember if I shared with you. I have our top 10 lists that we're going to do, at least a suggested list of each week leading up to Andor.
Oh, dang, okay.
Yeah, you sent me that. I think
The Road to Andor.
The Road to Andor. The
Journey to Andor.
Journey to Cassian. Go read Catalyst, everybody. It's a great book.
Top 10 list. Of course, I can't find where I actually
While you're
put
looking
it,
for it,
we have
though,
that, yeah.
I just want to say, at least for me, I found the prequels had really good ones, and I'm like, the originals had really bad ones, and I'm like,
I think
is this why the originals were so good? They cut out the bad stuff.
Yes, yes.
There's
That's exactly what it is. And
there's
a documentary on YouTube about how they edited A New Hope.
Yeah.
If you've never watched it, it's like an hour or something long. I
haven't seen
urge you to go watch it.
Yeah, should.
Because it literally, George Lucas's wife, I think her name was Mary Lucas. Mary? Is that
Ex-wife.
Right? Ex-wife, yeah. Edited the movie and literally saved it.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, dude, what
There's
the fuck
so many bad
is this?
things in all of the originals. All three of them. I'm like, that scene is horrible.
But
That
also,
should never have been filmed or written or anything. It was
I think
bad.
the difference is in the time period. A, it was digital, so you could record less and it wasn't like you were losing film stock.
True.
And B, he wasn't being told no by anybody.
Yeah.
And he was just filming whatever the fact that it made it past the conceptual stage and they filmed it. Anakin speaking droid is one of the most fucking
that was almost in the movie.
Things.
It was so close.
It was finished. I mean, they had a few VX shots to put in, but it was filmed.
Yeah.
And it's readily available for anyone to go see.
Now, the prequels do have their share of bad scenes that were thankfully cut, but the prequels I thought had some good ones that were cut.
They did.
Then I'm like, why would you cut
1,000%
this?
they did,
What
yeah.
are you doing?
There's one in particular
so
on my
weird.
list that I didn't
There's
know
a
of
few.
until today, and I was like,
There's a
why
few.
was that not in there?
So I
there's a few I didn't know about until this, but
I don't know what I did with the list, but I'm thinking of next week's, and just let me know what you think should be top 10 moments that I guess you can call made us cry or made us emotional.
that is hilarious. That not like actually funny, I guess. It's just a weird coincidence you say that. I was thinking about that like yesterday. I was like, we should
Were you
do
crying
one
at something
top
and then
10.
you?
Well, that's
like,
every day for me.
Zero shock that you
Yeah.
we're gonna call this top 10 the top 10 Evan moments in Star Wars.
top 10
Nice.
Evan moments.
Nice.
The Evans.
The Evans.
I know
Nice.
we joke about it. I cry a lot of shit too, though. But
Right.
I know we joke
Sure, I
around
get
about it.
emotional with it.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool that you're like willing to say that because most guys be like, "Don't fucking cry. I'm not fucking crying at
Yeah.
Star Wars."
My
we're-
eyes
we're
was
talking
looking out, man.
movies only, or
Like a
what?
beat my
'Cause
wife.
there's
Anything in Star Wars.
Okay, 'cause
Anything
there's
in
a
Star
whole-
Wars.
There's a whole lot.
Anything that's any Star Wars anything. It doesn't have to be canon.
Okay. Well, for me it does, but okay. Anyhow,
doesn't know what's
anybody
not
have
canon.
any honorable mentions?
I have one.
Anybody? For
Sure,
Tom?
I could
Yeah?
fit one in.
I got none. So go ahead,
Okay.
Brad. Give me your honorable mention.
My honorable mention is from The Last Jedi, and it is BB. It was a moment between Finn and BB-8, and it was that BB-8 filmed Rey's goodbye
I
to
remember
him.
this, and he's like,
he's
"It's weird that you
"Where'd
filmed that." But yeah,
But it
or
was-
recorded that or something.
It was cool because the whole thing of like at least what they used of Finn's character is like he was all about Rey, and I think it was a cool moment to see that she reciprocated that because there's not a lot of reciprocation from Rey to Finn, and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think you could. I think at the time they were kind of setting up like a romance between the two, but now that he's force sensitive, like I think it could have been in retrospect like something that he was drawn to her because he could sense that she was also a Jedi, or you could do it however you want at this point. But
Yeah.
I think it was just a good reciprocal moment for her to have feelings quote,
sure.
towards Finn.
Yeah.
But it's a great. If you have never seen it, it's a great scene.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
It's cool.
Like,
It's a good one.
I watched it during this, but it didn't make mine. But
Incredibly
it is a good scene.
tough to find these
great
fucking scenes. But the throw of fucking.
I told you, man. Just go
Just
to
go to
Disney Plus.
Plus. They got most of them.
They
there,
have most
but
of them there.
YouTube has the rest
I
of
don't
them.
know
that
why I'm
they
a
don't.
dipshit that didn't do that.
I fucking told you.
What's your honorable mention there, Tom?
My honorable mention is I just had it in front of me. Okay, so Padme's on the Senate floor after the attempt on her life, the beginning of Attack of the Clones.
Oh, that's crossover for me.
There's
Yeah.
going to be a ton of
Yeah,
crossover.
there's gonna be
I
a ton of
I know
crossover.
my number 10 is probably your number 1.
But she's begging with
I bet you're wrong.
begging
Ooh.
with all the other senators to basically vote on a security measure, or not to vote on it, which
then-
it'll
yeah.
be like you do it. It's like a freaking act of war.
The ending of the scene is the best part, though, in a bad way. I love this stuff that goes before it.
Yeah, well, yeah. That's the part I love about
the dumbest parts at the end of it. But
You'll have to remind me of that because I can't remember that. But
Yeah.
it shows the side of her that she passed down to Leia,
yeah.
and they like cut a little bit out of that of her
Oh, that's
story.
upsetting.
Yeah,
And it's
So
an
that's
Attack of
why
the
I
Clones.
like
It would have made Attack of the Clones a
It
little
just would've
better.
put a
like
little bit-
a
yeah.
1%, 2% better.
Well,
Because it's
makes
a
it-
good scene.
Did it explain how Leia remembered who her fucking mother was?
It
no.
did not. Kenobi tried, but Kenobi still didn't do that. But at the
I
end
wish
of the
I
scene,
was your father. I wish I'd have busted loads inside Natalie Portman.
cue,
Get the fucking
cue
alarm.
it, cue it.
Don't we all, Obi-Wan? Hit it
So at
again.
the end of that scene, they pan over to Palpatine and his like little group of like bodyguards or whatever that are on his giant tower, whatever it's called, in the middle of the Senate, and Masamita, like his right hand man, that blue guy with the big horns and stuff,
Yeah.
his tongue comes out. And it's like a giraffe tongue, and it just like flops around for no reason. I'm like,
that's right.
why did you put that in? Like, who? Why?
See, I don't mind that kind
The
of stuff.
Padme
in Star
stuff was
Wars.
great, but then you show this Masamita as a random side character that no one even knows the name of except idiots like me, flapping his tongue around. Like,
I like that kind of stuff. It shows that they're not humans. Like it,
Yeah.
it
yeah,
shows
but
that
time
they're-
and place. We just had this huge, impactful
It is-
speech
it is
from
also the
Padme,
Senate,
and
but
then it's
also,
like,
are we
yeah.
pretending that politicians are good people?
Nope.
Who they are not.
Anyway, my number 10, I think, maybe it's not Brad's number 1, but I assume it is the Return of the Jedi, Luke making his lightsaber scene.
Nope, it's on my
Crossover.
list. It's on my
Whoa.
list,
Yeah.
but it's not
Okay.
my number one. It's
Wow.
up there, but it's not my.
I know how
number
much you love that scene,
one. I love it.
but I love it too. It definitely should be in the movie, and it's
Definitely
the
should
only
be.
time we've seen a lightsaber like being built, being
Mhm.
constructed, at least in the movies.
I get
So
why they
it's
edited
cool.
it out though, because like
It could have been shot better.
That
A, it
too.
could have been shot better, but B,
Yeah.
also it kind of, you know who that is coming in at Jabba's palace on the first viewing at that point.
Yeah, it does make
'Cause
the
it is-
Jabba's palace scene a little like not bad, but
especially
just makes
drawn
it
out
worse.
because like that is
Yeah.
a long sequence where it's like walking through, choking out the Gamorrean guards.
Yeah, and you're like, who is this guy?
You lose it.
All
'cause
you
you know who he is at that point.
Yeah.
But all you needed to show in that shot was just his robotic hand, like tinkering with the saber.
That's true.
Yeah.
So he
You didn't have to
doesn't
show his whole
activate the
body,
saber
yeah.
in Jabba's palace. So
Yeah.
it's not like a green saber means Luke. You don't know that yet. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I love that scene. Though we'll talk about it more when we
Yeah.
get
It,
to
it is
Same.
shot really, really weirdly. So yeah,
Mhm.
the concept of it's great though.
Mm-hmm.
What's
It's
your
one of my
number 10?
favorite TVC figures too. I love that figure.
Yeah.
My number 10 is Phasma's revenge or like redemption scene. I call it redemption scene, but like her big scene in The Last Jedi that got cut.
Yeah.
The
I
scene
call it
is
Phasma's End.
Phasma's
Yep,
End.
that's the
Is it
official
on yours
title.
too?
Yeah.
Crossover
I'm sure.
for mine.
I knew this list would have a ton of crossover, but I
Yeah.
just like to talk about because we don't get to talk about deleted scenes.
Yeah.
This is one of the ones that I wish was canon the most. It's not
Same,
necessarily the
same.
best scene, but take out a few seconds of the fucking father years running around, like.
Yeah, right.
And that's my thing
This
with most of
was
the
so
Last
much
Jedi
better.
was. Is this is
Anything
way
from
more.
The Last Jedi that was cut, it should have been just cut X amount of seconds from Father Years.
Father Years.
This
Or
also
something to
gave
keep that.
Finn such a great thing to do.
Yeah, 100%.
God.
Yep.
And like she's
Even
like,
Rose
the
gets a little bit of
stormtroopers-
play.
The
Go ahead.
stormtroopers see that like she's a piece of shit,
And she picks them all off.
Picks them all
though.
off
Like,
and, like-
all right. Bam, bam, bam.
but it's just she's just so bad at like that's the Phasma we all fucking wanted when we saw that chick in the trailer for Force Awakens. It was like that's this character. She's ruthless, and you don't get much of that. And then the one thing you do get, they edit out.
Phasma should have been an estranged kid of Han Solo. Some chick he knocked up.
That could have been cool.
So
They
they're
could've made
brother
that
and
work.
sister, Kylo and
And they don't know it or something, and they're like
Half.
what if she was
from
like
Kira, or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would have been dope.
That'd have been dope, too.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah.
And they didn't know it. That'd be a really really cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then like
man.
Hux used that against them. Maybe Hux knows, and Hux plays that against each
Yeah.
other.
That would have been cool.
That would have
Yeah.
been cool to keep him alive. Keep
That
Han
too.
alive past 7. To,
Yeah.
like, see that through. And then she kills him in Episode 9. God damn
I still want Kylo to
Fucking
kill him
Disney.
though. I think
There's so many missed opportunities with it. As much
I
as I
know.
do love the sequels, there's so many things they should have done.
yeah,
I'm with you, though, on Kylo taking him out.
Kylo
there,
needs to be
yeah.
the one that kills
yeah.
Han.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm with you there. Mm-hmm.
100%.
All right, my number 10. Keep it in your pants when I say her name, but Jocasta Nu detailing what Count Dooku left the
I thought you were gonna say
order.
Padme.
No. Jocasta Nu.
Getting hard already.
Yeah, I know you are. Detailing why Count Dooku left the order. Just
Love it.
telling
Yeah.
Obi-Wan Kenobi in the library or whatever. The
Jedi Archives.
Yeah, the archives. Telling him why, and it was just like it. Again, why was this cut out of Attack of the Clones? This sets it up like it's what was a 2-minute scene, maybe a minute and a half.
Yeah, but they mentioned the Lost 20, and it, like,
Yes.
yeah, it gives you so many. That's
You're
like,
looking at the bust of Dooku.
Yeah.
It's
that if they kept it in, that line is almost like the line that Obi-Wan says in A New Hope, the Clone Wars. Where
Yes.
people are like, what the heck are the Clone Wars?
Yes.
The Lost 20 is like, what the heck is the Lost 20? Like, that would have been so
Yeah.
cool to know about.
Yeah.
This is actually my number 9, too, so it's perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you want anything else you want to say about it?
No, are you done? I
yeah.
cut you off.
I'm done.
I
No,
cut you
it
off,
was
so.
it was short and sweet.
But yeah, it gives Jocasta Nu more to do. It
Yes.
makes Attack of the Clones better. It
Maybe I
makes
would've
Dooku
voted
better.
for
Oh, maybe.
Fuck you.
Maybe she flashes her saber and be like, "This is what I use to hack down the members of
She
the
looks
Lost
at
20."
camera and she goes, "You'll never have this,
But you
Brad."
can never buy this on Galaxy's Edge, Brad.
She
Yeah.
flashes her saber and a TIE fighter flies out.
You have a TIE fighter sound? There we go.
There it is. And
There goes the IRS again.
they fleshed this out in some books and comics and stuff, and hopefully we'll get more of the Lost 20 stuff in Tales of the Jedi.
Do we
But
know what that is? What that's referring to? Have they ever said what the Lost
just-
20 were?
It's just people like Dooku that like,
So there's 20 Jedi that just dipped out of
Yeah.
the Order.
Yeah.
All together since like the dawn of time.
but
right?
yeah, up to that point, yeah.
Oh, so it's not 20 students just didn't dip out.
No,
Okay.
yeah, they're actual
It, like it used
people
to be
that-
the Lost 19, and then
Yeah,
now
they
it's the
keep
Lost
growing.
20. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I like that. I like
Yep.
that. That seems cool. I remember that scene. It didn't make my list.
Dang.
But there's because the things I was trying to get on my list were like things that made the movie better.
In the
Like,
grand
that
scheme
would've
of
made
things,
the
that
movie
doesn't
better.
really help Attack of the Clones.
No.
It helps those characters and a cool new story of what the heck are Lost
Yeah.
20, but it doesn't,
Doesn't
help
drive
Attack
the
of the
movie
Clones.
forward
Yeah.
in any way, which is probably why I got cut.
Yeah.
But again, if you can have 30 minutes of him talking, or 40 minutes of them chasing a changeling who was sent by a bounty hunter who was
well,
sent
the
by a
changeling
Palpatine.
sent a robot that sent
Send
a snake,
a snake,
and
a
then-
slug, and then
yeah.
like
I'll wait for my new sponsor.
What the hell? Sorry.
Anyhow, yeah, that's not a good plot there by Dooku. Well, technically, Palpatine sends Dooku. Dooku sends freaking
Jango.
Jango sends the Changeling. What's her name?
Why can't I remember her name?
I forget too. She's in Star Wars Weekends all the time. What the heck's her name?
What is her name? I know it.
Oh.
Me too. I know it. Zam Wessel.
Yep. There
Yes.
it is.
Yeah,
Sam
and then Zam Wessel sends a droid. The droid sends the slugs. It's like, come on. It's so bad.
That's outsourcing, bro.
Anyhow, what's your number 9 there, Brad?
My number 9 is another one from The Last Jedi, because I think this movie had some really good deleted scenes, and this one actually made the original trailer for The Last Jedi. But it was the title of the scene is being called Luke's Third Lesson, and it's the one where he makes her think that like people are invading the little caretakers, and then she thinks that they're getting her attack, and he's like, no, you have to let balance be balanced. You got to let it just be. And she runs down and to defend it anyway, and then it's a mating ritual.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Chewie and R2 are there, and it's just
like a little party and stuff.
It's
going
just
on.
cool, and it also explains what the hell R2 and Chewie are doing the entire time because they're not there.
Yeah, Chewie's eating porgs. Okay, that's
Yeah, he's
eating
just, like,
hundreds
picking
and
porgs
hundreds
off.
of porgs.
He's just hanging out with.
It's
the
now
porgs.
an extinct species on Octo. Thanks to Chewie.
Thanks, Chewie. But I just love. I mean, it also does the set of 3, right? That's how jokes set up. That's how things work in storytelling. It's 3s, and so to not have this is kind of a missed opportunity, in my opinion. And I think it would have made the story better. It also would have shown that like he trained her more. Like there was more of them interacting, which is fucking awesome. The fact that you deleted anything with Mark Hamill in it in that movie is insane to me.
Yeah, and it plays into Rey's character where you need to have balance. Rey is a Palpatine
Mhm.
who becomes a Skywalker. Like she's balanced.
Yeah.
So yeah, it plays into that even. Like,
Love it. I love that scene. I think it's cool, and it's long too. It's like a 2 or 3 minute scene. It's not like
Yeah.
and it was fully filmed. Everything was shot, and they just got on the kind of
That's
Yeah,
the
they
thing
just
I
cut
don't
it
like.
probably last minute.
What's the
So
difference
strange.
between a 2-hour and 3-minute film and a 2-hour and 5-minute film?
Not-
Like, what's the
nothing.
point?
Nothing.
Just
It
give us
depends on
2
how
minutes.
much money you were
cut
given.
out father years.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I know.
God
I know,
damn
I agree.
it. Just fucking
Yeah.
Christ. As much as I love
Yeah.
that movie, just Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a movie that got slowed down to a crawl like that? I mean, that just really just
Yeah, I
fucking
don't
takes
know.
the wind out the sails. I think that's why people don't like it. Is because that scene is just so fucking. The Canto Bight stuff's not that bad, but it's the stuff after that when they're not in the casino.
Yeah.
It's just not interesting. This
Yeah.
chase goes on for fucking way too long.
Mhm.
Especially for them to just end up on a ship at the
I-
end.
and
It's
I
like
know
you could
it-
have just had him pick up at any time. Like
I know it doesn't, but it almost feels like it even reuses shots too. It's like, wait, did we just see them go through this same
Right?
corridor and step on that same speeder? And like, okay, like,
that's my favorite part of the chase. It's the part where they're like on the hills and it's like you're overlooking
the
shit.
fields
It's just
too.
like,
It's like,
come
didn't we just
on.
go through this field? We're doing this field again. Like, yeah,
2 shots of that. I mean, I guess
Yeah.
the reasoning behind it is those animatronics were not cheap to make. I guess so you don't want to cut any of that stuff when you can
True.
just cut.
but
you
when
know,
they're
some
writing
green
them,
screen.
they're all animated. So like,
Yeah, that's true.
What's the
That's
point?
true.
who
But
knows?
anyway,
we'll never understand that.
I love that. I would love to ask Ryan Johnson why he cut that.
Yeah,
I'd love if I could ask him one question about the movie. I'd be like, why did you cut that scene? That
Just
scene
one
is
question.
that scene is really interesting, and it's a cool moment between the two of them.
he would like that too because he probably never gets that question.
Why does it suck so?
Why did you ruin my childhood?
Didn't stupid. You're just too dumb to realize how good this movie is.
Yep.
Tom, what's your number?
My number
whatever we are on.
8, right? 9.
Yeah, I
No.
just did 9.
Yeah, it's my 9. 'cause
9.
Evan
Y'all's
started.
9 was your last one was.
Yeah.
So we'll skip
Yeah.
you and go back around to me.
Yeah, my number 9 real quick is Padme and Anakin right before they are taken hostage on Geonosis. Like we never find out really how, because they show up as like citizens and just like a Jedi and a senator showing up trying to negotiate with the Dooku. And Jango Fett, who's just standing there right next to Dooku. It's like more Fett that we see, seeing him that he's involved. More Dooku being a clear commander of like the Separatist movement. Because he's just kind of there. And then this also gives Padme more to do, finally. It's just like that's why a lot of these scenes ended up on my list. Because it's like, I felt like they cut a lot of Padme out of the prequels. Where like, she was there, she gave birth to Luke and Leia. You saw how she had some, qualities of both of them. But like, you didn't give her more.
Well, to be fair, that's all women are good for is birthing children. Hit that fucking button.
You left off making sandwiches.
Oh yeah.
Bacon sandwich.
Evan throwing it in there. No, I could not.
See, these are what they call jokes.
I couldn't agree with you more, man. That's anything with those characters that are like important like that. Leave them in.
Yeah.
Like, I get editing out Costa is not that important.
And then
But,
you
like,
found
this
out
stuff. Like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
in this scene that you found out that they were found guilty of espionage, and that's why they were tied up and taken out to the battle arena.
You're right, because aside from that, it's just like, okay,
They
they're
just
good
captured him.
guys.
It's like,
They showed
okay.
up and got
Yeah.
captured. Like, really? Anakin
Why?
Skywalker?
Got captured?
Yeah.
Come on.
That's because that video game conveyor belt caught his arm and he broke his lightsaber. That was
God, I
like that.
fucking hate that scene so much.
Yeah.
That might be the worst thing in that entire movie.
Yeah, I don't
It's
question
close,
that.
yeah.
I agree. The stuff on Kamino is pretty good with Obi-Wan. Yeah, so it's not like that's
I'm
the problem.
quite beside myself.
That's actually the worst.
Oh, when
that's,
C-3PO gets a battle droid head. and-
Dad.
yeah.
Die, Jedi. Oh, what did I say?
Yeah.
As if the
Yeah.
body makes your brain work any
Who
different.
knows,
it's so
man.
fucking stupid. I
Yeah.
hate.
It's wild,
Fuck that
man.
movie. That's why anyone who says that like anything other than that is their least favorite Star Wars movie, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your mind. The movie's absolute dog shit.
And that's definitely everyone's like last answer. I've never heard anybody say that, I don't think. That Attack is their favorite.
I met some people at Celebration that had it as their favorite. I'm just
Wow.
like, why? How is that your favorite Star Wars movie? Please go watch other
Stockholm
movies.
Syndrome was one, I guess.
All right,
We're skipping
Evan-
my 9, so...
oh yeah, so we're now to
It's
my
your
8. All right,
Yeah.
my number 8 is.
Wait a second.
we did my 9, so I need my 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your 8, Evan? Sorry.
my
yeah.
number 8 is from Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, because I didn't do my
You went
8,
first, right?
I went with my 9. He already.
I
His
started
9
this.
was.
Okay,
I was 10,
yeah.
you guys did
What-
honorable mention,
yeah.
I did 10, 9, 8.
Okay, yeah.
So now we're on 8 with Evan.
Yeah. So it's called Seeds of Rebellion from Revenge of the Sith. It's in Padme's like little
Oh, yeah, this one's on
whatever
mine,
room they go
too.
to
Yeah.
when Anakin first shows up with Jar Jar, and he's like Annie, but it's not that scene, thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
So they're hanging out with Padme, and it's like the seeds of the rebellion. Bail is there, a couple other senators are there, and they're just like, things are not okay. But we cannot just come out and say this because then we'll look like we're part of the separatist movement, and
Yes.
we'll be like treason. They'll say we're committing treason. So we're not separatists, but we also know this is not cool. What are we gonna do about it? And they're basically like, let's not tell anybody about what we're doing, but going forward, we are this group. You can't tell loved ones, you can't tell your family, nothing.
Yeah, this is definitely crossover. This is Mon Mothma's there too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
So,
I almost put it on there, but I knew you guys would. That's why I didn't.
Yeah, so
Gee,
just
thanks.
like you said, anything that gives Padme more character that she
Yeah.
deserves, and it gives Mon Mothma more and Bail
Just
more.
Bail. I love Bail.
And it shows more of like this whole people weren't completely blind and stupid to this Palpatine guy being obviously evil.
Did you
Some
see
people
Bale's
figured it out.
deleted
So.
scene from The Phantom Menace? It was like 2 seconds, but it's just some
I think
white
I
guy.
did. Yeah, I did.
Some white. It's not Bail.
They're in the
Yeah,
Senate.
it's not Bale,
the Senate
but
chamber.
it's Bale,
It's
but it's
supposed to
not
be him,
him.
but it's
yeah.
not the same actor.
That's
It's supposed to be
hilarious.
him, yeah, but it's not the actor
Yeah,
that we
it's
know
not
and
Jimmy
love.
Smith.
It's not Jimmy Smith.
Yeah.
They recast him or something.
He just was never in the Phantom Menace.
Yeah, so
Like,
his character was.
At the end of
but
the
it
day,
wasn't
his
Jimmy.
character was there, but he wasn't there.
They did
Yeah.
the same thing with Mace Windu
gonna
at the
say,
end,
it's
and
that
that
same
made it in
idea.
the movie.
Yeah.
You were
No,
in the-
he was in the Phantom Menace.
No. At the very end, they
Oh, yeah.
they were doing reshoots.
Right.
They couldn't get Samuel L. Jackson back, so they just put a black dude.
I
in
saw
there.
that.
In
I saw
Jedi
that.
robes.
You're like, who's that
Yeah.
guy? Like, it's Mace Windu. No, it isn't.
It doesn't look like him,
That's
but
not
okay.
Mace Windu.
But
His
yeah.
lightsaber doesn't say "bad motherfucker" on it.
Exactly, I can tell.
All right,
What's
we
your
up to
number
me.
8, Brad?
My number 8. This one was one of the few from the prequels for me, but I liked it because it did something that would have kind of flipped the Jedi Temple on its head, and it's the Jedi analysis and the I forget it's Biff SP. I can't read my own handwriting. Some droid, and it was like a way to test the DNA on the little dart, if I remember correctly.
I remember
And
that.
it was before he
After
went
he
to see.
sees
It
Dex,
was
right?
before.
Oh,
And
okay.
that's how he knows who to go talk to, is because this thing at the temple, and it looks like it's on Kamino, but it's in the Jedi Temple.
Yeah,
but it's
I
like-
vaguely remember that now.
It's on the. I've only seen it like once or twice, but it stuck out in my mind because I'm like, that's cool. That's in the temple, because the temple is almost like you think like High Republic, you think that kind of look. But this looked like literally, they probably just shot it on Kamino and just said it was on the fucking. Shot it on Kamino, like Kamino's a real fucking place, but used the sets for that. But the droid design is really cool. This is, if you haven't seen this one yet, go back and watch it. It's really, really cool. It's a cool scene. I
Can't
forget the
agree
name
more.
of the droid, but it was
The
cool.
droid's not as cool as Dex, though, so I'm
No,
glad we
but-
kept Dex instead of this droid.
Yeah.
Well, no, he was just going to go see Dex because he
That's
knew
true,
that
it wasn't
Dex
a one
knew
or
Yeah,
something.
something.
that's
It
after
would've
the
been
droid
both, which give me
gives
both.
him like the blood thing.
I would. Have you ever seen the 4-hour supercut of a Revenge of the Sith?
I've seen it like bits and pieces. Like I haven't
I need
watched.
to sit down and watch it its entirety. I bet you that makes the movie fucking great.
It
probably
is
does.
great.
Yeah, it's, all
It's
right.
good.
It's all right.
It's not great.
The second half is great. You like the whole thing?
I do like the whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, it's just
I do.
to me. There's not enough difference between like episode 2 and 3.
Oh
at
yeah,
the
there
beginning.
is. Yeah, there
Just his little
is.
fucking stupid haircut.
When I think of Attack of the Clones, I think of just like how drawn out. Even though the Battle of Geonosis is fun when the Jedi showed up, I just feel like that's all drawn the fuck out.
The whole scene with the Nexu and all the
Yeah.
animals, that's
Yes.
just a waste. We don't need
It's
that.
just like,
Just come on.
And that glorious opening shot to Episode 3.
I
that's
love
the
that.
shit.
I love the
Start
Battle
to
of
finish.
Coruscant.
Yeah, the
long
Battle of
shot.
Coruscant.
Especially because I was obsessed as a kid with the Genndy Tartakovsky series, which just played perfectly seamlessly into that scene. So
Mhm.
I still love that series. But yeah,
The series is great. Have you ever watched it?
What?
The,
series?
the 2D Clone Wars.
No.
It's
Oh,
really
man,
good,
it's really
man.
good.
It's really fun.
Yeah, especially if you
it's
like
on
Revenge
Disney
of the
Plus, you
Sith.
should
You
watch
like
it.
it more than I do, and I love Revenge of the
Mhm.
Sith. So yeah,
It takes a little bit to get used to see Star Wars animation in that style,
Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
after everything they've
it's
done.
the same guy
I
that
got
made
used to the
Samurai
Clone Wars.
Jack and
Dexter's
Dexter's
Lab.
Lab.
Okay.
He's got some new show on Netflix too. It's like called Carnage or
He was
something.
supposed to do a
Samurai Jack.
Popeye movie.
Whoa,
Oh,
and
really?
They got it like
in that same style.
no,
Okay.
it was a 3D one, but it looked
Okay.
really good.
I haven't seen
Huh.
the Robin Williams one in so long.
Same.
It's not bad. It's a good movie.
Yeah,
It's
I haven't
fun.
seen that in
I
like
know.
20 years.
Yeah, I haven't watched that in a while.
It's a good movie.
We on to my number 8.
Yes.
I think her name was this deleted scene was from The Force Awakens. We see her officially in The Force Awakens when her planet, and I don't remember what planet this was, is destroyed.
It was Hosnian Prime.
Yeah, Coruscant, I think it was her name. There's a
Vi Marati.
no, close
I
could be.
wish.
Supposed to be.
I
Like,
wish.
It really could
essentially.
be.
Same
But
type of character.
but she would have died because she dies in this scene.
So-
She was talking to Leia, and Leia was basically saying, "Hey, can you go get the Republic, on our side? Can you get them invested with us to help us go after the First Order?" And by Leia's doing of sending her over there, she got her killed.
Oof.
So that's like a little deep. I mean, I understand why they cut it out, but it's just like when that shot is in on her and her face is getting redder and redder as the planet's blowing up.
You're like, who the hell is that?
Who the hell is this? Yeah. Like if you would have kept that scene in, that would have been like, oh,
Yeah.
dark.
Because they don't focus on just the crowd. They
Right.
zoom
It's
in on her
her,
face. and
yeah.
you're like, who is this person?
And to see her having a connection with Leia, who we have a
Yes.
connection with, would be like, okay, if Leia likes this person and trusts this person, I
Right.
like and trust this person.
Right.
Like, yeah.
I'm with you. I
Yeah,
love
that
that
should
scene.
have been in.
I should have put that on my list. I didn't put it on mine.
Yeah, it's what, like maybe 20, 30 seconds?
If
It's not
that.
even that.
Yeah,
Not
like,
even
come
that.
on.
Short.
Leia just sits with her, tells
Cut
her to
that-
go to Republican.
Cut whatever it is out of the Rathtar scene. Like, we all agree
Yes.
we hate the
Yes.
Rathtar scene, too.
The
Like,
20
all-
seconds that took Harrison Ford to run.
oh my gosh, to run 20 feet. His run is really, his run's hysterical.
running the Rathars.
I can't wait to see his run in
Asian
Indiana
country.
Jones.
Dude, I'm
God.
I'm excited,
I'm excited
about
for
that
that
movie,
movie,
but I'm not.
If
I'm
they
nervous,
make him do
man.
anything like that, it's going to be a little sketch.
It's the director of Logan, right?
Yes.
What's his name?
Fuck tart.
Marigold? Mangold?
James
Mangold.
Mangold, yeah.
If anyone can do it, he can. But that's going to be like he's such a weird director to pick for Indiana Jones in like a great way because
Unless they're good at
he's so
Logan.
dark.
Unless this is like Old Man Indy. Old Man
I
Logan.
hope.
I really, if they said when this takes place, it's got to be like in the 50s, 60s,
Yeah,
right?
something like that, yeah.
Well, I mean, the last one that sadly does exist is the Cold War, right? So,
Is it the 80s?
no, I'm wrong then.
Yeah, the Cold
They said
War's-
this
Cold
is the
War's in
Cold
the
War
80s.
then, I think.
So
They
this
said the
is gonna be-
beginning of
this
the
is the
Cold War.
80s?
He's going to have turned down that
I don't know. I could be completely wrong.
whip it good. Do 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 do.
Shake your body, baby, do that conga.
I mean, that's an
Basically.
80s song. So.
Yeah.
You see him
I'm
like,
curious
"Ugh."
about this movie.
Cautiously
Stance in a
excited
conga.
for it.
Have you heard of anything? Or they're calling it Indy 5, right? So they're
Yes.
Yeah.
continuing.
They're
They're not
acknowledging.
retconning that
Not that I
shit-tastic
know.
movie.
Yeah,
I need to
no.
rewatch it. Maybe it's not as bad as I remember, but I just remember being so let down by that fucking movie. Never in my
Same.
life have I been more.
I've
upset
only
by
seen
a
it
movie.
once. And
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
We got to give it another shot.
A lot of
Yeah.
people are pissed.
Do people
There's
like it?
fucking,
I don't know.
I was going to say, I don't think anybody likes it.
There's people that go back and go, dude, it's not as bad as you remember. Which I'm sure it's not as bad as I remember. But I
Yeah.
remember the fucking monkeys had pompadours, dude, swinging through the fucking vines, like for real.
Yeah,
It's one of the worst visuals I've ever seen in my fucking life.
you're not wrong.
And I love Shia LaBeouf. I think he's really talented, but he is not Harrison Ford's son.
No.
Like when you look at the two people that were picked to play Harrison Ford's kid, Adam Driver in the movie, Adam Driver and Shia
Yeah,
LaBeouf, like
yeah.
get the fuck out of here.
Neither
dude.
of them work as that from that alone, like the genetic standpoint. But
All right, where are we at?
my number 7, another one from Revenge of the Sith, is confronting the Chancellor. Now this is cool because it finally shows that people are starting to figure out that this obviously evil guy is pretty obviously evil. They're in Palpatine's office, and we get Anakin standing like right next to Palpatine too, on like his side of the table, as if like Vader would stand next to Palpatine.
Is Padme in this one?
Yeah, Padme's in this.
crossover. You
And
fuck.
Padme is basically like, hey man, like you got to step down after this is all done. Like this is not democracy. Promise me we're going back to normal after this. And he's like, yeah, like you guys know I have the best intentions.
Hang on.
Then
So
I kicked her in the. Whoa.
Whoa, that happened too.
Yeah.
So Palpatine is just like, I promise you guys, I have the Republic's best intentions. You got to trust me that I'm going to do the right thing. And everyone's like looking at him like, are you though? And he's like, I will do the right thing. You guys have to
Yes.
believe me and trust me. And like, the lighting's really like dark and obviously showing he's evil. The music is,
Mhm.
I don't remember exactly, but I know it's more of the dark side cues.
Yep.
And the senators, including Padme, get up and leave. And Palpatine is like, Anakin, we can't trust any of those guys. They're out to get us.
Well,
And-
what made me put that on the, and this is higher on my list, and I'll just talk about it now. I don't care. Palpatine turns to Anakin and says, "They see something in you they fear."
I forgot about that, yeah.
So it's like here's yet another like implant from Palpatine
Yeah.
to Anakin. It's like okay,
Yeah, he's
this
like,
would
oh,
have been even if you didn't keep the full scene, you could have kept that
This
line
conversation.
in. Yeah, that
'cause
conversation.
They've left the room. It's just Palpatine and Anakin.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and it shows Anakin even be like, oh, so the council doesn't trust me and they're scared of me.
Exactly.
The senators don't trust me and they're scared of me. Okay.
Yep.
So then
Fans back on? What the fuck's happening?
Palpatine even says, like, none of them can be trusted. And then Anakin's like, well, I'm sure we can trust Senator Amidala. She seems very trustworthy.
Yeah.
And Palpatine's like, no, even her. Can't trust her, man.
Even.
So,
He's like,
especially
I think
Yeah.
we can.
so that's a great scene that I think improves Padme and improves the whole dynamic of Padme, Anakin, and, well, I guess that's not a dynamic, but whatever, that trio. So, good manipulation, too, by Palpatine, like you
Yep.
said.
I love Palp's manipulation. Are we at 7?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. This is something that it's from Return of the Jedi, and it's one of the things that they've never shown in the original trilogy, but they kind of did with the sequels to an extent, but it's something that they explore a lot in the books. And it's Jar Jarrah's conflict when
It's on mine, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's a
on
great
mine.
one.
Yep.
Where he like doesn't agree to blow up Endor, the Force Moon of Endor, right away, and he's like,
We have people
that's
that
really what we want to do.
We
and-
kind of get this in Rogue One a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we get it with Lieutenant Croy on the Halcyon.
Yeah.
Which I love. So, yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like it's a good scene, but I get why it was cut at the time. But
Mhm.
now where we're at in Star Wars, it's like they really kind of double and triple down on this concept of like
At the time, Lucas was
Reluctant.
like, bad guys, bad guys. Good guys, good guys. Like, there was no in between.
We're good. It was just
We're so paranoid of losing.
a
Lose
phase
power.
of the plane of existence. Don't worry. It's just our maker coming down to.
The lizards.
some of us
Lizard overlords.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
here for it. Let's wrap this up, and by
Yeah.
this I mean life. All right, where are we at?
I
Now
keep
we're-
interrupting you. Sorry.
So sorry. I thought it was a Curb episode.
But yeah, I love that scene. Tom, number 6.
My number 6. No, it's my 7, I believe.
Sorry,
right?
7.
We already talked about it, so real quick, the Phasma's end scene where Finn gets his proper ending and Phasma gets an actual proper ending for the badass character she should have been from The Last Jedi. So, what's
Yeah.
your number 6, Evan?
Number 6. Okay, I take it back on what I thought was Brad's number 1, because this is Brad's number 1. It has to be. The Phantom Menace pod race, whole pre-race, like, setup.
Oh,
Nope.
fuck
No?
that scene.
No,
Oh,
it's
I
too
love that
long.
scene.
It's way
It's too long.
There's
As
things
much as
in
I
it-
love it, it's too long.
There's
It's
things
not on my
in it
list.
that should have been cut, but the scene should have stayed. It
It's
just
not-
cut out some of the random, like, this is his
It's too
wife and
long.
kids again. We keep showing his wife and kids. They're his wife and kids. We get it. Stop showing the wife and kids.
Yeah, no,
But
I
aside from
didn't-
that, it's cool. It's world building. It shows everyone there. When they die, you're like, oh, yeah, I remember seeing him a little bit ago. But now in the movie, it's like, I guess that random pod racer died. I don't remember him, but
I
okay.
think they should have maybe introduced all the pod racers, but that
Exactly.
scene is like 6 minutes, and I'm like, I
yeah,
get why
there's
they cut
parts
it.
to keep and parts not.
But
to
it's not on my list at all. I know
Dang,
you
I
guys
can't predict
probably-
you. That's my last
My
guess.
number 1, you're not going to get.
I'm not gonna, but I loved it. So it gives everyone more not more background, I guess, but just like
No, it does.
shows you who's there.
Yeah, it definitely
And
does.
It builds the world a little more, which is what Star Wars usually is all about.
Yep,
So,
world building's great. But
Yeah.
like I said, they should just introduce them. They shouldn't have,
yeah,
spent 40 minutes going,
And here's his whole planet, and his mom's name is.
yeah, they do way too much of that.
This morning for breakfast, he had
Maybe not all the racers. Maybe only like 6 instead of like 12 they show.
to me, they picked the good ones to do in the actual edit.
Yeah, you
Like
got to show
Ben
Sebulba and
Quadraro,
Anakin and
Sebulba.
Ben. But like aside from that, they should have done a few more just to show us when they die. Be like, I remember that guy.
I'm gonna next time I see those TVCs, I'm gonna grab them. I saw them on eBay and they're not expensive right now. And I think I'm just gonna spend $100, $120 for the 2 of them and just say fuck it.
Might as well.
because they're never gonna repack those.
And if they do, they're gonna be in the box where you can't see them. So
Oh God, don't get me started, Please don't get me started on that shit again.
That was last week.
I'm purposely buying all the Black Series I can that don't have that just to prove a fucking point.
What if they do that on purpose though, and they're like, "Psych, we're putting them in the old packaging just so you bought all the old
they're
ones."
I can't tell what they're doing with the Black Series. It's a fucking disaster. But whatever they're doing, it ain't working.
Yeah, not make me excited.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not
What's
for
your
me.
number 6? That does make you excited.
My number 6.
Yeah.
My number 6 is from Empire Strikes Back, and I think this is another what we talk about world building and stuff. But it would have made a cool badass out of C-3PO. It's the Wampa scene where he
when he pulls the sign down.
Pulls the sign down.
Yeah.
I love that scene. Mostly
It's funny as fuck.
Mostly because it's good Star Wars humor.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It's
It's
one of the rare
perfect Star
times
Wars
where it's
humor.
like
Yeah.
you shouldn't have cut out the humor. But secondly, it's a joke in my all-time favorite Star Wars game, Shadows of the Empire, where you go into that room and you see the Wampa and you have to kill it.
Yeah.
So it's like a nostalgia thing for me. But
Is there a Wilhelm scream there? Because if not, there should be.
I think there is.
Remember, I think so.
I watched it like 3 times last night.
I love that scene. I think
Yeah.
it's so cool, and it makes C-3PO badass.
I love at the
It
end.
does. That's just,
After the Wampa pulls in one of the snowtroopers and his buddy closes the door, Vader walks up and just like looks
looks
at
at
him
the door and walks away,
and then just walks away. I'm like,
hilarious.
Vader. Like,
I love it.
Vader's like, I don't have time for this.
He's ruthless. That's exactly what he would have
He's
done.
like, I'm
too.
too
he
old
can
for
like
this.
4C behind the wall, and he's like, whatever.
Well, you could hear all the noises.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I just lost a snowtrooper. Oh,
Yeah.
well,
All
moving
right,
on.
well, thank God there's more where that came from.
Just like Curry says,
Move along.
we have so many TIE pilots, so
I
many
love that scene.
snowtroopers.
All right, who's next?
That is me. And my number 6 that we're on. This one's a quick one. It was cut from Revenge of the Sith. It was 5 or 6 seconds, but I think you could have easily gave a nod to what's reared as the best Star Wars movie, The Empire Strikes Back, just by having Yoda land on Dagobah. Just show him landing on Dagobah.
Is that an actual scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
They filmed it.
Wow.
After he takes
They
off from
filmed
Kashyyyk.
it back
Mhm.
then. They filmed it.
Mhm.
I don't think I've seen.
It's out
this.
there. Yeah. It
No
looks pretty.
way.
It looks fairly done too, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
From what
for
I remember.
real? I don't
Yeah.
remember seeing this.
And there's no dialogue or anything. It's that little like
What-
launch pod that
he in a
lands.
ship?
That little escape
Really?
pod.
I need to watch
It-
this immediately.
It opens up
Yeah.
and he just is like looking at
He
Dagobah.
comes out and he's
Shut
like, all
the
right.
fuck up.
Yeah. It
So
is.
wait,
a
is
good
it?
one.
So is it the beginning of the movie?
No.
the end.
The very end of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Empire Strikes Back.
Oh,
I was
no,
like,
no,
they
no, no,
filmed
no,
that
no, no.
then?
No.
Okay, sorry.
This was
sorry,
for Revenge of the
Revenge
Sith. My
okay.
bad. Yeah.
No, my fault. I thought you said Empire Strikes Back. It was just what my brain was thinking when you said landed. Yeah, that
it
makes more
would just
sense.
be- yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually cooler because it establishes how long he's been there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah, because like after he goes from Kashyyyk, he goes to Obi-Wan with Bail, and then he sees Han or not
And
Han. He shows Luke and Leia be born, and then he's like, "I'm out. You go here, Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
I'm going here."
And for the Star Wars fans, you're not wondering like, oh, where the hell was Yoda during all this time in the Rise of Vader? Like, oh, he
Yeah.
was on Dagobah, seriously
Yeah.
there for
Because
since
how long was it? Like 18 years between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope?
20-ish years, yeah,
Something like that.
something like
Yeah.
that. 18.
So it
19,
shows
20.
that he's been on Dagobah for
Mhm.
23 years, like
Which is like 6 months.
in Yoda time. My number 5. We already talked about it. Was the Commander Jar Jar Rod's conflict?
Yeah, it's a great
But
scene.
it's just great because it doesn't show the human side of them, the Empire back
at all.
then.
Never. They didn't
Which
show it once. In the
we get in all the
original
video
trilogy.
games now, like
Mhm.
Iden Versio
Yep.
and like the books Lost Stars. We're getting all this human side of not all of them were just jerks. Some of them were people just doing a job. Rogue One does a good job. We're finally getting that now. But
Yeah, I think the best example of it is Galen Erso.
yeah, like he was forced to build the Death Star. He had no choice. They're gonna kill him and his family. So same with Jar Jar Rod. He was kind of doing a job. And he's like, I don't want to kill my own men, but Vader's gonna kill me. So
Damn it if you do, damn if you do. I was just
Yeah.
following orders.
Yeah.
Oof. All right. We're here back to me now. My number 5. This is Evan's number 1. Kylo on the Falcon from
How'd
The Force
you
Awakens.
know?
I know. So who would have thought? But
unpredictable.
I think we'll talk about it a little bit more, but I think this just adds depth to their relationship because you don't see them on screen together until the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
like he's been on there before too. So
yeah,
it's kinda
Yeah.
and
like,
it's the fact that he's in the cockpit and it's like just his
Yeah.
back and he's like Han Solo. You're just like, oh, you can
It's
feel
more
the
of
anger.
that great like Star Wars helmeted acting. He just like turns around.
Yeah.
And, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially after seeing Lego Star Wars. It's
when he
just like,
finally flies the Falcon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
man.
love it.
yeah, that was cool.
But yeah, we'll talk about it more, I'm sure, when we get up to your number 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't make my list, but it should have.
Oh, that's
I
mine.
don't know why I didn't.
To me, that's like
Shut up.
it's not
only
my
like
favorite, but to me, that's
17
one.
seconds,
Yeah,
but-
it's short, and it just would have added so much to that because I feel like it needed that in
Mhm.
The Force Awakens because like you get there, it's his parents, but there's no interaction whatsoever until the end. Burn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My number 5, I think it is.
Yes, sir.
Was we already talked about it earlier, but the start of the rebellion. Like they'd call us separatists, but like a little bit more to Mon Mothma, a little bit more to Padme, and most importantly, this was like a good Bail Organa moment. So
yeah.
that's my number 5.
I love how these deleted scenes, we got them to come back for Rogue One, but like now this has spawned into Andor. These deleted scenes are basically like
we got some of Bail in
Rebels too.
Kenobi too.
Yeah. So
we think Jimmy Smits is going to be in Andor.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
1,000%. Yeah.
Yeah, Saul's in it.
He should be. He was involved in all that.
Bail's gonna be in it.
You think Saul's going to be in it? They're going to get Forrest Whitaker back?
He is.
Yeah,
he's
in.
already
We
been
saw him in the
announced,
trailer.
and yeah.
Did we?
Yeah. I wish they would have kept that reveal. That would have been
God damn
sick.
it,
I know. We knew that was coming.
True, like
I
we
need to rewatch
assumed.
that trailer.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I remember seeing him.
second trailer. Yeah. It just confirmed it. Yeah.
I don't know if he has Borgullet. Are we going to get the story of how he gets Borgullet?
Could you imagine?
I hope not.
He like found him fishing one day.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see Imperial Bodhi Rook?
He might be. No, he's about Cassian's age. I was going to say he's too young, but he's like a little younger than Cassian.
Yeah, you might.
We could. I don't need to or want to.
Maybe you find out
but
why he starts.
He's probably one of those
Change
guys
his
that
mind.
was forced into it, probably.
Yeah.
Another one of those. Yeah, maybe.
I like that character a lot. After rewatching Rogue One, like he doesn't really fit Star Wars, but somehow he fits Star Wars.
Yeah, he really doesn't. But
Yeah.
I love his character. I think his character is cool.
What's your number 4, Evan?
Number 4 for me is from Solo. This might be the only deleted scene from Solo on the list, but it is when we get to see Han be an Imperial pilot for just a little bit.
I almost put that on my list too.
And like it's instead
yeah,
of getting
I've
that
seen this one.
that cut, it still makes sense, and it's kind of like a joke even in the movie where the officer says, "We'll have you flying in no time," and then it cuts to him on Mimban and getting like launched by an explosion. Like, okay, that is funny. That was good, but like it's cool. It originally cut from him saying, "We'll have you flying in no time," to Han flying this TIE fighter, doing this training exercise, and his like fellow pilot is gonna like go crash and die, and the Empire's like, "All right, come on back, Han," or whatever, Solo, or what they give him a number, whatever designation, TK, whatever, and Han's like, "But the other pilot, like I got to go save him," and they're like, "Oh, come on back, time to go."
What if it was 5010, like SOLO?
That'd be funny. But then he goes and saves the other pilot, and he comes back, and the Empire kicks him out because he saved the pilot and didn't follow orders, and that ties into a lot of stuff that like. Freaking, what's Woody Harrelson's character? Beckett. Beckett's always saying, like, you don't follow orders, you always deviate from the plan. It's that same idea. Like, Han doesn't follow orders. He always does whatever he wants. And usually he's right. So it shows the Empire also being like, we don't care about our people. We just care about the mission. So it shows a lot of good stuff, and I wish it would have been there to see more of Han kind of being Han.
I like it. That's a cool. I don't think I've ever seen the actual scene. Did they
I
film
don't
it?
think I've ever read a description.
Filmed.
Really?
That's cool.
Yeah, it's like fully done.
I
They
need to
just
watch
cut
it.
it last minute.
Interesting. My number 4 is one that I saw titled Farewell to Jira, and it's from Phantom Menace. But to me, it's not.
yeah.
It has nothing to do with that part of it. Basically, it's when Qui-Gon gets Anakin.
Oh yeah.
And he
says
says bye to
goodbye.
the townspeople or whatever.
The old woman.
But then one of the 3 Maul droids gets sent out, and he cuts one with a lightsaber, and it explains why they're running towards the ship.
Yeah.
In Phantom Menace, because you're like,
Yes.
why are they running all of a sudden? How does he know? And then then Maul shows up and pops out of
Anakin
nowhere,
drop.
which explains because he saw it, and
Anakin
it
drop.
doesn't seem like they should have cut that.
That's
Yeah.
true. There's all of a sudden there's like, oh,
Back to the ship. It's like,
Yeah.
why?
They're
Back to the
running
ship for
40
Jedi.
miles
He
back
knows
to the
that
ship,
was
like-
coming, and it makes sense why.
How did Anakin even run that far, man? That they were like miles and miles out. Like, jeez.
Yeah, but I think it's the only one I have that includes Qui-Gon, but I had to put one in there.
The dialogue from what's her name, Jira,
Yeah,
is a little on the nose. She's like, "Goodbye, Annie. You're the sweetest and bestest human on the whole universe.
you would never do anything.
You will never
evil.
murder
You would
kids.
Change to the dark side.
you just
Annie.
love children.
She's like, "You'll never murder kids. You wouldn't hurt a fly."
You're a
Annie."
role model, Anakin.
It's like, that's a
And
little
you're
too on
not
the
a-
nose.
You're not a horned up teen.
Yeah. Are you an angel?
You didn't put
Are you an angel because my dick's getting hard.
you didn't put
Hit
that
it.
great.
Are you a
One-
magician?
Actually,
Hit the
no.
button.
I'm not hitting that one. We've all been there.
Yeah, dude,
Um,
fuck yeah.
I'm
Girls don't
surprised
know. Just like we were talking about last episode, girls we don't know what it's like to be women. Women have no clue what it's like to have a dick. It just runs your life
I mean,
from the time you're like 14
not
to
wrong,
25.
Scientifically, yeah.
14 to 25. It's still running.
That's
my
when it's the
life.
worst. You kind of get under control in your late 20s.
No, you don't.
Some of us did, and I'm not one of them. I was being polite. I was trying to, because if I was like 35, like I'm not even there yet. But trust me,
Under control, yes, but
Under control, like-
Tom, what's your number 4?
you still do dumb shit.
Yes. Yes, yeah. We could do a top 10 of dumb shit we've done.
Yep.
Whose would be the most wild?
Yours.
Over you?
All mine would involve deep dish pizzas.
Mine would be all from the past 2 years. So moving on.
Well,
3 years, whatever.
well.
Yeah, 3 years.
Was it? Yeah. 3
Yeah.
years. Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
My number 4 would
We're
be
talking
Yeah,
about
something-
eating the donut cheeseburgers. That's what I'm talking about. I don't know about you guys.
Eat
Yeah.
the donut.
Yep. Sadly,
number
yes.
4. Oh, hold on.
Explains why you were drinking so much.
Yeah.
My number 4, Palpatine. Oh, we talked about it earlier. Palpatine and Anakin's conversation in Episode 3 helps show how much more Palpatine was involved. And then the line that I needed to made this my number 4 was, "They see something in you that they fear." Like Palpatine saying that to Anakin in front of all his friends as they're walking away.
Yeah.
And like Palpatine, the one who he probably just got done, speaking of being a man, giving it to from behind like 12 hours earlier.
Yeah.
I like that scene.
Yeah. You're not
Which
wrong.
scene?
What's
People
it we're talking
specific.
What scene are we talking about?
Yeah. I like the ending of that scene.
I like
is
the
what
end of that scene.
Yeah.
Evan.
My number 3. Oh, man. My number 3 is from The Last Jedi. It's right after Luke learns that Han is dead. So,
Yeah,
Mark,
this
like
one
we
here.
said
That's my
before,
number 2.
How do you cut anything Mark Hamill from this movie?
That's my number 2.
There's no
Well,
dialogue. It's just him taking in Han is dead.
It's just such a sweet scene too, and it's literally seconds long, but it
Yeah.
does so much. Since it's my number 2, we'll go ahead and
Yeah.
we'll talk about it because
Yeah.
it's one of
Yeah.
those things for me where it's like, how do you cut this? This is like this scene would have done a lot, I think, to make
Yeah.
people who didn't go like, "Well, did they ever get back together?" It's like, well, they didn't have a chance. The story is different, but
Yeah.
I totally don't get why they cut this.
And it
Like,
just
this
shows
is
more of
crazy
how
to
Luke
me.
has changed. Like, Luke just realized one of the few people left that he was close with is gone.
He's gone,
And
It's tough.
and he's the reason why he's gone, kind of, because
And-
Kylo killed Han.
It also shows how good of an
So-
actor Mark Hamill is, man,
Yeah.
when he really goes for it. Because that
Yeah.
scene is so sad. You're just
Yeah.
like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's rough.
It is.
Fuck,
That would be on that top 10 crying list.
Yeah.
If it made the movie, I would have cried. For sure.
Yeah, that's a rough one. That's a rough scene, and there's no reason to cut that scene.
None.
I'm gonna try to guess your all's number 1.
But
You're
we,
not-
we already said
Emotionals.
my number 1. Oh, for that one? Oh, okay.
Yeah, for the emotional one.
Okay.
Oh, I don't even know what mine is off the top of my head. I'd have to really sit down and think about it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, so do I.
I'd have to think about it.
Man.
But yeah, so now
That was your number 2?
Number 2. So now
So
I'll
what's
go-
your number 3?
My number 3 is Luke's new lightsaber scene from Return of the Jedi.
Ah,
Obviously.
Crossover, yeah.
Yeah,
Crossover
that was
on
my
that one.
10. So
It's
yeah.
such a cool fucking scene. We've already talked about it ad nauseum, but it was it's just one of the cool things. And again, it's super short. I get cutting out 5 minutes of pod racing introductions,
Thank you.
but these little
This,
short
not
scenes,
this.
there's no reason to cut this,
No.
other than the fact that I guess it does ruin the reveal. But still, it's such a, like you said, you could have just shot it differently. Showed the robot hand. You didn't need to see the black cloak. You could have just seen him tinkering with the lightsaber and then turning it on, because he doesn't turn on the
Yeah.
lightsaber in Jabba's
Until
palace.
the sail
Until
barge.
sail barge.
That also kind of shows you his plan. Doesn't he give it to R2 in the scene?
Yes, he does. He puts it in R2.
Yeah,
Yep.
so that would have been cool too to show it
Mhm.
in R2.
He does. Yep, puts it in R2's little dome.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Number 2 for you, Tom.
3.
3. Sorry.
Correct.
It's 3 still. Is I think you made mention of this meeting potentially earlier. Now that I think I'm mixing scenes up, I may have, but anyway, this particular scene, it still didn't make the movie, but there's a meeting with Palpatine and Anakin, and Padme are all in the same room, and Padme turns to, or not Padme, Palpatine turns to Anakin and just says, Senator Amidala is hiding something. So he's like placing doubt within Anakin's mind about this one, like,
I remember this.
sure
Yeah,
thing
I didn't mention this one, but
in
yeah, I
his
remember
life.
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like, whoa.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
the start of the
intense.
manipulation between him
Yeah.
and Anakin.
Yeah.
It's like
Mhm.
laying the brick. I love that kind of stuff, like laying
Mhm.
the foundation.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We didn't even mention either back to like the confronting the Chancellor scene that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Palpatine. Yeah. Padme is obviously pregnant in that scene too.
Right.
Like not even hiding it. So
She's
it's like
not, yeah.
that made it even funnier that like, yeah, we can't trust any of them. Like, and it's obvious she's hiding that she's
Mhm.
pregnant, but not
Yeah.
well. So like, there's
Yeah.
more details in that scene.
Am I just not remembering? Does he ever tell Palpatine that they're together and that she's pregnant?
No.
He never tells
He
Palpatine, but he
knows.
figures it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he has a little bit of something to do with it. Let's be...
Potentially.
He's working some stuff behind the scenes. Some Sith magic.
Some dark secret Sith magic. He's back somehow.
Exactly.
So,
and you know who isn't coming back, at least not yet, is Phasma after my number 2. When she gets her end, and we've talked about it all before, it gives Phasma sick moments, Finn sick moments. It shows, it just shows a lot. And we get some Phasma stuff in the comics and books, but that would have been just the perfect Phasma moment to show that she doesn't care at all about anybody.
Nope.
She's just there for herself.
Yeah. And a ruthless character gets a ruthless death.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
That's why it was on my list, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my number 2 skipped, so we're down to you.
My number 2, we've already talked at length. The Vader reaching out to Luke through the dark side and Luke putting the lightsaber together. Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
That dialogue was bad to me. But
I hated the Luke.
Yeah, that dialogue was bad.
I don't even remember that that scene.
It was. I just would have kept the dialogue out.
That's what stopped me from putting it in. Was that dialogue was so George Lucas.
I was so close to not, and then at the end when they panned away with Luke putting the lightsaber, I'm like, oh, this is the like.
It was good.
That's one of my favorite legacy sabers. Like I had.
It's my. I think it's one of my favorites. It's my favorite like design other than Qui-Gon's. But I don't like any of the lightsabers you have to take off legacy wise.
I get it.
Same.
It's just the look, but
the look of it is just so sick.
Evan, what's your number 1?
Well, Brad already said it and guessed it. Is just Kylo on the Falcon.
Such a great scene, dude.
So cool.
What do you love about it so much?
Just like seeing him, he like storms in there all pissed off, and like you can kind of see it melting away a little bit at first, and then at the end of it, he's like, "No, I'm pretty pissed off. Like I got to go kill this guy." It shows that conflict within him without a face. There's not a human face in the whole scene from him or the snow troopers around him. Nobody, and they don't say a word. He only says Han Solo, like from conveying all of that from 2 words.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
pretty impressive.
Yeah, that seems the shit. I love that scene.
And they like he comes out of the Falcon, and you just see him standing in the snow with his snow troopers and the Falcon behind him. Like it just really gets you and shows you what he's thinking at the time.
Yeah, good stuff. I love that scene. I remember finding out that was a scene and just being like,
Me
wow,
too. That was like one of the first things I
cut
found
that?
from The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
I was like, come on.
I remember there was like a rumor like when they were like when it was coming to DVD and Blu-ray and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And they were like, this
They
is a
just
deleted
showed-
scene with him, and they're like, ooh.
Yeah. They would
And then
always just
seeing
show
it,
that
like,
shot of him in the cockpit from
Yeah.
behind, just showing
Yeah.
the back of his helmet.
Love it. All right, or is my number 1 now?
Yes, sir.
My number 1 is Luke and Biggs' Dark Ladder at Tashi Station from A New
Dang,
Hope.
yeah. I would never have guessed
Here's
that.
why.
Is this the same one where he's looking up at the sky first?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Here's why. Part of it, honestly, is the Tashi Station is such an iconic line. Tashi Station because you power converters, but that's not the reason why it made the list. And that's because that's just it's like an Easter egg. It's just a reference. The reason it works for me so hard is because it's like it just does so much world building, and at the end of it, when he runs into Biggs, he's just a fucking random character you don't know at all in that movie, and he's like an important part. And it just does something to me to like see those two interacting in a different way, and then you also get the other characters. I forget what their names are.
Cammy and Fixer.
Oh, the ones who were in Book
yeah.
of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
They all kind of hate him too, though. They like are calling him Wormy or something
Wormy,
like that.
yep.
Yeah, they kind of hate Luke.
This is a term of endearment.
Maybe
It's like if I called you fuckface. I'm like, come here, fuckface.
that's true.
But I don't know. It's not very well. It's not a very good scene. But I think for A New Hope, it's appropriate. I'm not shitting on the movie, but like the movie's a slower movie. Like it's slow. It takes its time. Like this world building, adding this in, I think would have gone a long way, especially for the stuff at the end with Biggs.
Yeah,
I think this thing's cool. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh, that's so cool that they actually filmed this, and you see like the Star Destroyer up in the distance.
Is he seeing like C-3PO and
Yes.
like that? He's seeing
Yep.
that Star Destroyer,
Mhm.
Vader coming to go get Leia.
Yep.
He sees
Yeah.
the battle going on up there.
Yes, that's cool. I never made that connection that
Yep.
it was the same thing. So that makes it even cooler.
It's so cool,
He's
man.
seeing Leia, his sister, and his droids come down. Like, yeah,
It's the start. It's all right there, and he's witnessing the start of his journey. I love it.
that is cool. Because he's always looking to the horizon.
Yeah.
Young Skywalker.
Always. What's your number 1?
Didn't know this scene existed till recently,
And by recently, he means today.
no,
Yesterday.
no, yesterday. Yes. I really didn't know. That's just the way some of these things exist. But how could I not put Anakin meeting Padme's family as my number 1?
It's a good one.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
That's just because it humanizes Anakin from Vader. He gets to see what a normal family looks like. it reminded me a lot of like me meeting Courtney's family for the first time. You're like, huh, they're not throwing knives at each other. And
They're not beating
calling
each other on Kajimi.
Cunts. Yes, thank you. and things like that. So it's
you're not drinking at 11. in the
Yeah,
morning.
right. Oh, I didn't know we could do that.
I didn't know we couldn't. I didn't know
What's
we didn't
this?
have to do that.
Did you just make me an omelet? Breakfast, like
Tip-yip?
yeah, like a tip-yip, yeah, like and he saw like in Padme was coming from humble beginnings too, and then there was a conversation that he had like out on the lawn with her father, talking about how much in danger she really is, and it's just like
It's a weird scene.
It's
cool seeing their grandparents.
Cool. Yes, that too.
Like,
Yeah,
it's so cool.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Like we meet Shmi, we meet Anakin's
Mhm.
mom, but we never get to see Padme's mom. Or
yeah.
dad.
I feel like more that just was butchered of her story because
Yeah.
it's you get it, and like it's where they're walking to when they get back to Naboo. That's where they're going.
yeah.
That infamous scene. I can't wait to visit that in Italy.
Dude,
Everybody
bucket
wants to
list
visit
item.
that.
I know.
Cool,
I'm
really. Is
I'm
it Lake,
going to do it.
Lake Como?
Wherever
Is
it's
that where
at,
it
I'm
is?
gonna do it.
How
Yeah.
far away is it from Paris?
Can't
be
not
that
going to be
far.
able to do it then, but I'll do it eventually. Yeah. There's just too much going on in Paris, but yeah, that's
Dude,
my.
if Celebration is in Italy, I'll go to go
Dude,
there.
could you imagine all the fucking dorks that would be out there with like
God.
getting like proposing and shit?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God,
1,000%.
gross.
Yeah. I would take a bag of sand and just dump it.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah, I love
that's
that
my number
scene.
one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because
That's
I'm
a really good one.
Stanikin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good one.
Nice.
All right.
What's Padme and Anakin's like relationship name? Do they have one? Anime? Panikin?
Panicking. I like that.
Yeah.
We go panic tonight.
Panicking.
I never even knew that was like a thing to make relationship names.
It's not if you're an adult.
It shouldn't be a thing, but I didn't know people did it until Raylo, and I was like, "What is Raylo?"
Ugh.
Yeah, I it's fine
Bennifer,
for Kylo.
That was Ben
Yeah.
Affleck and Jennifer Lopez.
It's fine for Kylo and Rey to be together. I'm fine
now
with
they're
that.
married
It's just I don't like
officially, right?
the
Yeah, I think
name,
so.
the naming of
Yeah, they
relationship.
are.
That's so
She
stupid
seems like
to
a
me.
nightmare.
Huh?
She seems like a nightmare.
Oh, I don't know. So does he.
He's got a pretty bad alcoholic, right?
Most
Well,
celebrities are
That's
night
why he loves her.
covering,
Reminds
yeah.
you of your mother.
Ew. Anyhow, that was a great top 10.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, Tom, I
You
think
pulled out
enjoyed
some
it
good
more
ones.
than he thought.
Yeah, of
More than
course
he
I
put
thought.
out
did.
some good
I know I
ones.
did.
Yeah, you
I know I
did.
did. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I did the other one. I know. Great. Everybody.
It's like, I know.
Shut
You
up.
don't got to tell me. Shut up.
Yeah. Go Tom. Go me. Yeah.
That's the title of this episode. It's just
Go
Tom is
Tom.
the best. Go
Tom
Tom.
is Tom's greatest top 10 ever.
It's in your top 10. Top
No,
10.
our
Tom,
next
for
top
sure.
10. Top
Our next
10.
week top 10s, I'm really gonna hunker down and find
That's a
out
good one, man.
which
I might cry
my
making
top
this
10
list.
Evans.
Can we
think I
really
know-
title it that? Just
Yes.
Yeah, top 10 Evan
My
moments.
number 10 Evan
It's
is
got to be, quote, Evan moments.
Yeah.
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 Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I'm excited for that.
we should do them all for us. Come up with a Tom moment and a Brad moment. Mine would be
Oh my
picking a
gosh.
table up and throwing it at the TV, like the moments that got you most pissed off in Star Wars.
I don't know if I could legally talk about my moments that I'm most pissed off about.
No, because it has to be Star
In
Wars
Star
related.
Wars.
Oh, it's Star
so
Wars.
for
okay.
you, I don't know what it would be. The top 10 figures you bought.
My number
first.
one,
I
if
don't
this
know.
is a joke list, but if we ever do this, and I'm spoiling my number one, but it's the Solo thing with his last name in Solo. That is so fucking corny.
Yeah. Me too. It's one of the things I don't like the most.
You're by yourself. What's your Solo? I'm Solo.
Yep.
Fuck
sounds good.
off. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
That's it. Evan, bring us home, brother.
Well, great episode, everybody. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it is called Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, correct?
Correct.
I'm not the one that is the best at bringing us home on this one. Also, you can follow us on the YouTubes at Jedi Talk Podcast.
Jedi
with
Talk.
you?
Jedi Talk.
YouTube, yeah.
Jedi Talk. On
Jedi
YouTube.
Talk on YouTube. See,
Jedi
I'm not
Talk?
the best with this.
I forget which one it is. It's one of the others.
Yeah. So follow us
Try
there.
one, then try the other.
We're going to get a training montage of Tom so we can give Austin a good old tortilla slap in the face.
Slap the shit out of him.
The Rocky montage. So follow us there, everybody.
I'm sleeping in my bathroom with the lights off
Right now, or
to prepare for this
okay.
battle with Austin.
I was born in the darkness.
you merely adopted the
You
tortilla.
merely adopted the tortilla.
Dark, Austin.
I was bred in it, born in it. I made the tortillas.
Well, I can't really wrap us up because my thing I say is always after what you say. So
Thank
go
you guys for
ahead.
listening to this episode. We'll see you on the next one. Until then, stay safe. May the Force be with you.
Always and good journey.
Rise, Jedi Knight. Are we ready to go?
We'll decide when we're ready to go. We're ready to go.